Fast forward to our modern world. The individual algal cells in a phytoplankton bloom may be microscopic, but en masse, you can see them from space. Giant green swirls appear in places where plant food is concentrated by winds, currents, or rivers, or trapped by restricted circulation. If you go to one of these places, you can glimpse the beginnings of the process that formed oil in the past, happening in the ocean today. Here in the Gulf of Mexico, just offshore from New Orleans, the waters have a bit of a nutrient problem, courtesy of the Mississippi River. Every spring, a flood of plant food in the form of nitrogen and phosphorus washes out into the warm Gulf waters from the farms and cities of Middle America. Warmth, sunshine, and fertilizer, the perfect trigger for a bloom of phytoplankton. Once a month, a research team monitors the changing water conditions. As summer progresses, the waters here are overwhelmed with planktonic algae and bacteria, tiny bodies rich in organic hydrocarbons.
High nutrient levels in the water lead to a great abundance or a great productivity of life in the ocean. When these organisms die, they die in mass and quickly use up any oxygen that's in the bottom of the ocean that would lead to their decay. And this ultimately leads to the formation of the very stinky, oil-smelling shales.
There are so many dead and dying plankton cells sinking down that their decay starts to use up the oxygen in the water below. And the deep water becomes anoxic, completely devoid of oxygen. Dropping down into the increasingly stagnant green gloom, the leg of an oil platform becomes the only reference. About 30 feet down is the area that local fishermen have dubbed the dead zone. They find nothing alive down here to catch. A steady rain of microscopic bodies sinks uneaten towards the stagnant sea floor below.
In the absence of oxygen in the bottom of the ocean, there's no life to churn up and obliterate these layers, and so the sedimentary layering is extremely well preserved.
Almost 1,000 feet below, perhaps the most fertile region of the ocean today, the water is anoxic, totally devoid of oxygen. A steady rain of dead plankton cells has accumulated into a thick, quivering, uneaten, black organic ooze. And another step on the long road to an oil deposit is complete. Many petroleum source rocks accumulated in these very unhealthy, very stinky seas of the Jurassic Middle East. As sea monster and plankton cells alike settled down into the inky depths below. This dead zone stretched as far as Western Europe, and it was this muddy graveyard that would become the most important source of crude that the world had ever seen.